There ain't no place where one little thing can lead to a multiple catastrophe like it can in Hazzard County.
Well, who was that guy? It don't make no difference. Teach him some manners. All right.
Here is our Dukes of Hazzard episode, Season 1, Episode 13, titled Double Sting. The original air date is May 11th, 1979, written by Guy Waldron, directed by Guy Waldron. If you're just joining us on YouTube, here's the show preview right here.
The Dukes are coming in for another landing.
Couldn't keep away from me, huh, gorgeous?
Young lady, you are in a peck of trouble.
I've got claustrophobia.
Is that kitchen, Sheriff?
Gee, these people are crazy.
I hope you weren't too inconvenienced, ma'am.
Coming at you.
And there it was. Again, welcome for those of you who have just found us on YouTube. If this is your first episode with us, the three of us have reviewed all 7 seasons of the Dukes of Hazzard on our audio podcast over the last 10 years. Look how old we are.
Crazy. It's been 10 years already.
We're doing this all again on YouTube.
We're glutton for punishment.
Well, it turns out people think YouTube's going to work out. And one of us may not live to see the end of it.
Or all three.
I think you're muted, Bern, if you're saying the bad words again.
3, 2, 1. Introduce yourself, why don't you?
Happy to. What an intro. I am Rob Kibbe, longtime automotive podcasting know-it-all. He is muted Bernie McPartland, automotive podcasting producer know-it-all. And he is Justin Cornett. He actually knows it all about Generalese and Dukes of Hazzard and how to weld Mercedes and stuff. You can get the full version of this show on all of your favorite audio platforms. Let's take into the show right here. So final episode of season 1. And this is it's a gem of an episode.
Yeah.
But this particular episode puts together the recipe that is the remainder of the seasons of the Dukes of Hazzard. You're going to have an out-of-town bad guy or bad guys come in. There's going to be a scheme that the Dukes will need to solve. Jumps will happen, hijinks ensue, it all wraps up with a nice bow. So here's the IMDb summary.
People, whether it be the bad guys or the, neighboring sheriff, will Google at Daisy throughout the remainder of the series.
Did they know the word Google back then?
They're Googling their eyes at her.
Oh, here's the IMDb summary. Bo and Luke are jailed along with another motorist named Tom Colt following a confrontation after a near accident. While in jail, Colt suddenly becomes ill, forcing the local physician to quarantine the jail with the Duke boys, Colt, Boss, and Rosco inside. However, there's more to the illness than meets the eye, particularly after an armed robbery at Hazzard Bank. So far, so good. DVD summary. A fine mess they've gotten into this time. You got to be old to know that joke. After a health quarantine confines the Duke men and the police to the jailhouse, only Daisy is left to pursue bank robbers who disguise themselves as Laurel and Hardy. How many people you think actually know who Laurel and Hardy even is?
Yeah.
I would hope a bunch. They were absolute groundbreakers. They were groundbreakers in the sense of the Three Stooges, perhaps.
I'm 50, and I only know Laurel and Hardy from Bugs Bunny cartoons.
I thought you were going to say you only knew them from like the movie Blazing Saddles. Laurel and Hardy, welcome.
Amazon Prime streaming summary. Sheriff Coltrane, Deputy Enos Boss Hogg, and Bo Duke and Jesse Duke, but apparently not Luke Duke, are quarantined while two men rob the Hazzard Bank and escape with Daisy. That's awful. All right, here's my summary. Burn some summary music here. In the final episode of Season 1 of the Dukes of Hazzard, we can revere that just 12 episodes ago, this was a pretty different show. 12 episodes ago, this was like Smokey and the Bandit. We were helping prostitutes escape They were helping prostitutes cross county lines to escape imprisonment. Now, in the Dukes of Hazzard, we get Bad Guys of the Week portraying Laurel and Hardy, an overdubbed Rosco, and the jump of General Lee jumps of all time. This is the jump that even people who hate the Dukes of Hazzard gotta say, damn, that was badass. This is the jump over the river. Plus, we get tassels and headlights. Not tassels on headlights, Burn, but tassels and headlights. We see the headlights of the General Lee. We also see tassels and headlights. This is the format that will serve us very well for the next several years. I loved this episode. 10 corn dogs. That is my rating. This one is a solid classic episode. So I assume you both rewatched it?
Yes, I've seen this one numerous times. I don't even have an idea how many times.
How about you, Bern? You want to tell us what it was about?
I did see the episode. There were characters. There was a car. There was a car battle in the heat of the night. There was a square body Chevy record truck. There was explosions. There were tassels. And there was a finale.
So true. Okay, the episode does start. And Kirk, when you do the video edit, go ahead and pull up the intro right here. The episode starts out with a pretty rare scene. We see the general driving at night with the headlights on and functional. Is this the only episode where we see that?
No, because I also your favorite episode from season 7 with the alien, I believe they show the headlights in that one. Or maybe I'm thinking of Enos's car.
Nah, you're right. They do show the headlights in that particular one, but in this case, the low beams are on. You just see the two outboard headlights. When they show this, it always looks like daytime to me with a blue filter over the top. Do you think this is actually shot at night?
I kind of wondered the same thing because, or it's right at, as the sun's going down, but you can still see shadows. On the ground. And, if the moon's out, of course, you're going to see shadows for that. But I imagine it's probably an overcast-ish day. But, yeah, maybe they've done it with filters. And I'd have to ask my buddy, Justin Cooley, what they do. Because he does the camera work on productions. And he'll probably know exactly what they did to mimic the night.
Well, Bo and Luke are driving along. And all of a sudden, they're in a fender slamming engagement with Burton Gilliam, who's playing the character of Tom Colt. Now, Burton Gilliam. I probably know him from Back to the Future 3.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy that's selling the Colt gun, and even a baby can use one of these. He's that guy, but he looks the same, and he gets in a fender slammer with Bo and Luke, runs them off the road. They find him at the boar's nest. He propositions Daisy. They beat the crap out of him. They all end up in jail.
Wait.
While in jail.
You just skimmed over the beaten fenders. They tore up the entire side of this car. It wasn't just, tapping fenders. It is
demolished.
It's caved in. I mean, quarter panels caved in, doors caved in. I'm surprised the fender is not rubbing on the tire. It's caved in so much. I mean, it's pushed into the it's a unibody front end, so it's pushed all the way into the inner fender. I mean, it's not just a fender bender. It's a totaled car at this point.
Was it not, though, fixed?
I'm sure it was. Really early on, I heard stories of them cutting a quarter panel off of a jumped car, wrecked car, a quarter panel that was still good, and they would rivet it over the existing damaged quarter and then just mud up the edges, paint it, and do it again. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was done on this car. And then as far as the door and the fender, replace those. But I imagine this car probably got launched pretty soon after this.
Oh, yeah? Do you happen to know which car this is?
It is a Georgia car, but I say it's a Georgia car, but I'm not positive on that. I'm looking at a screenshot of it, but it's hard to say exactly which car this is. But I've always been under the impression that it was one of the 68s from Georgia, because it does have it looks like it has the smoothed over, side markers. I can't tell if it's the gas ring is on it or not, which that would have been Lee 3. But yeah, I mean it's possible it's one of the Georgia 68s.
Well, the fender banging is significant, and
Yeah.
Kirk, I hope you've showed that in the edit here, because the general gets the bejesus beat out of it. It looks awful.
It's sad.
At the jail, though, where they all end up, the bad guy who they did the fender slamming with suddenly has an illness. And I think the interesting thing is we're reviewing this post-COVID. So we are familiar with the topic of a quarantine, and a quarantine is used here by, who's the doctor in this one?
I don't know, but
older
it's
than Moses.
Yeah, back then he was probably 100 years old. I mean, at least he looked like it, but
He
I'm
says
not sure who that was.
the bubonic plague is what he says. But what it actually is just a case of poison ivy and a guy faking it. That's
Yeah.
what it actually is. The Dukes realize that he's faking it. They don't know why he's faking it, but he's faking it. At the same time, there are two guys in Hazzard who are pretending to be Laurel and Hardy in an RV, and they rob the bank wearing Laurel and Hardy masks. But the Hardy guy, who is portrayed by, Artie Johnston, like by a real actor who was in Laugh-In. He's not a corn dog. He's a horn dog. He cannot keep himself from groping and touching a tasseled Daisy. And it's worth showing here. I'm sure Kirk is showing many scenes of Daisy walking around in a trench coat. I don't remember why she's wearing the crazy costume though. What was that for?
I forgot that part, but it was something that she was maybe acting or doing a local play or something, and so she was trying on her costume.
That was for the Hazzard County Costume Clog Dance Party.
Yeah.
Obviously. Kirk, all I can tell you is the 13:15 mark. Go to that. When she's strolling by the RV and is seen in the side mirror of the RV, that's good. That's quite good. So the Laurel and Hardy characters are played by Avery Schreiber and Artie Johnson. And Artie Johnson, I remember from old episodes of Laugh-In, which was from the 60s. I thought he was just a comedian. I didn't know he was a working actor. Avery Schreiber, that's not one that I know, but I got the impression that he did voice acting.
Yeah, he looks very familiar. Like I've pulled up his IMDb, and yeah, it's like
he did a lot of commercials and stuff back in the day, as I remember. I was looking up to the Doritos commercials in the 70s. He was all over that. I remember. I knew I'd seen him before.
He played the tax assessor in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yes, I'm seeing a lot of cartoons as well. So yeah, he did. He did voiceovers as well. So yeah,
he genuinely does look like Laurel of Laurel and Hardy. Like, I mean, it's a good characterization.
He was a truck driver in The Fall Guy for one episode. Really? He was on Cannonball Run 2, uncredited.
So Laurel and Hardy rob the bank. Daisy gets on top of their RV and follows them, or is catered away by them, I guess.
Yeah.
Cooter notices that. He follows. They shoot him, or shoot at his truck. He runs off the road. And in a reverse image scene at the 18-minute mark, Kirk, they show Cooter driving suddenly on the right side of his truck. It happens to the best of us. We then go back to the jail where the Dukes are trying to figure their way out. And this episode, I'm pretty sure, is the first time that the Dukes almost lose the farm. Now, they're going to lose the farm dozens of times, throughout the run of this series, but I'm pretty sure that this is the first one. So that's probably worth sharing.
Rosco, I want you to make sure nobody leaves here.
What are you doing here, Doc?
Tending the sick, Jesse. What the hell else do I do?
Come on, Doc. I didn't hit him that hard.
Now listen. Everybody listen good. I don't want to start a panic. But this sure looks like some kind of plague.
Plague?
Until I know more, as county health officer, I'm declaring this jail and everybody in it quarantined.
Quarantined?
Now, I'm just a lovable old country doctor, and I ain't had me a good epidemic since the hog collar of '43. And that was mostly pigs. But this sure looks like pneumonic or bubonic plague.
Vaughn, if I don't get that mortgage payment to Jason Higgins before midnight, we lose it.
Hold this thought. I was just looking on IMDb.
Okay.
And I can't believe we've missed this. I can't believe we've missed this after all the references that we've made. But this doctor is Patrick Cranshaw. So he passed away in 2005, born in 1919. So yeah, he was old. But we've never linked these two together. He's Blue from Old School.
Sweet Lord, he is.
Wow.
How can that be?
All these times that we've referenced Old School and never made that connection.
Check out the big brain on Corn Dog.
No, it's just IMDb. I just scrolling
isn't
through.
He 1,000 years old in this episode?
Well, 1919, so 79, so that would make him
he's
what?
only 60.
Wow.
I would have guessed 300. he looks so... Well,
so he passed 2 years after Old School came out.
You're my boy Blue. Okay, well, geez, another good find.
Never knew he was on Dukes of Hazzard.
The remainder of the episode is the Dukes trying to convince the bad guys that they know what's up and that they're on their side. And they break out of the jail, and they get the bad guy to go with them. And then he finally steals the General Lee to get away, which has Cooter in the trunk. Now, the reason this is interesting is because prior to the bad guy stealing the General Lee, they jumped the Styx River. They did that huge, enormous jump, the world-famous jump, apparently with Cooter in the trunk. Wouldn't that be a terrible idea?
He was in the trunk.
He was in the trunk. He was in
thinking
the trunk.
of the timeline, absolutely, yeah.
There were 3 people in the car and 1 in the trunk.
Wow, poor Cooter.
Maybe
that's why the car looked so good. It had that counterweight in the trunk. I mean,
that jump was used so many times throughout the series and even on the reunion movie.
Yeah.
It's a great jump. Supposedly it was 230 feet, I think is what I've read, and it was supposedly like the longest jump on the series.
There, I enjoy the Facebook Dukes filming locations, and there are a lot of jumps that have been done there by numerous shows over the years, including the Dukes. They've used it many more times.
Yeah.
None look quite like that though.
Golly, I'm so upset that this is not a Patreon show because I just thought of an absolutely horrible joke, but I'm not going to say it here.
Thank you, Bern.
Save it for Patreon.
Good to know. The bits with Rosco are pretty funny. So there's a neighboring sheriff that's there to chase the bad guys. In fact, he also does that big jump. And the actor that portrays that guy, his name is hang on, I got it here. His name is Joseph Burke. I did not know until I looked for this episode. He will come back in season 5 as a bad guy. He's one of the bad guys in the strip mining episode when Bo and Luke return.
Wow.
Which is interesting because that whole plot ends up becoming the 2005 Dukes of Hazzard movie plot, basically. Same thing.
Huh.
Rosco, though, is quite funny, and he is peeved at that sheriff. And after that sheriff flips over, they have this exchange.
Coltrane, your driving is substandard.
I didn't turn over. You reckon we ought to help the sheriff? Will you hush? Yes. He ain't hurt. Yes, sir. Turn off the lights. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I like how he looks back as he drives off.
Yeah.
Over. Rosco is also very Rosco in this episode as well in the jail.
This is Sheriff Rosco Coltrane calling all deputies. Coltrane calling all deputies. Come on.
Sheriff, all the deputies are quarantining here.
Why is it that Roscoe's audio sounds like dubbed in for like half the episode?
I don't know. That is interesting though.
I figured on my Amazon copy that I was watching that something was amiss because, and maybe it was just the Amazon copy, that there were many places that the audio led the video just by a few milliseconds. Just, if you weren't paying real attention, you wouldn't probably notice it. But
so for those who don't know what that means the audio is running ahead of the video.
Talking.
Correct.
Okay.
The reason that's interesting, Bern, is because we had the same comment when we did the DVD reviews 10 years ago. It seems to have always been there. I don't know if they had to re-edit James Best. We saw that in the episode where he was in the funeral parlor while they were cremating the body. Like he was overdubbed for some reason. So the episode does end with the bad guys having to escape. And I think they end up having to escape in the General Lee, and that's kind of a fun part.
Hey, isn't that the girl from the bar?
Yeah, she belongs to me. Look, dummy, are we supposed to sneak out of here in an orange stock car with a big number 1 on the side and a Confederate flag on the roof?
Look, little man, it'd be a whole lot easier than trying to hide her.
It is comical that car would be, you can't sneak around in that car.
Right.
It's pretty hard to
just
miss.
An orange car in general. I mean,
were they afraid the tassels were going to hang out the window?
No, I think they were looking forward to it.
Well, because how do you hide her? Don't know.
You are past the age of the filter, right?
Way past.
Yes. Okay. That concludes the episode. The bad guys get caught, the good guys win, and we move on to season 2. Corndog, you did have some notes in your original review of this where you were supplying car notes 10 years ago. And here's what you said. You said, at the beginning of the episode, this is one of the very few times you'll ever see the headlights on the General Lee throughout the entire series. He's talking about the car there, Bern. It is sad to watch the passenger side of the General wiped out, but this appears to be one of the remaining Georgia cars. At this point, the cars were wrecked and repaired so many times it's getting harder to pick out each individual one. Lee 3, however, still looks very similar to the way it always has. By this episode, that car really starts to show signs of wear. The car was used in many of the interior shots, and you can see the paint on the roll bar is almost worn off and the silver duct tape on the roll bar is peeling off. When they started filming in California, Lee 3 was the nicest car of the bunch, but as time went on, the body started showing damage from beating and banging around, especially in this episode. Towards the end of the episode, when Colt steals the General Lee and drives up to the hideout, the car that he pulls up in is a freshly built 69. This car does not see much use in this episode. One of the most famous scenes was from this episode when the General makes a huge jump over the river. This footage was recycled many times throughout the series and even in the 1997 reunion movie. This is believed to be one of the surviving Georgia 68 General Lees. One thing I always thought that was fun is you can clearly see the camera hanging off the passenger side of the car. Later in the series, they refer to this as Styx River. It is actually the Santa Clarita River at Indian Dunes in California. I went to this location in 2004. It is now privately owned. We tried to measure the distance to the jump, but the banking on the ramp side was washed out over the years, making it nearly impossible to measure. It was clearly well over 150 feet. The addition to that is in season 7, there's an episode where they go back in time and they show you the building of the General Lee, and that jump in season 7 is played as the first jump of the General Lee.
Yeah. And like for the hardcore Dukes fans, which I love the Dukes, don't get me wrong, but then you've got this other group that like seems like the Dukes of Hazzard was like a documentary, you know? And there's like, they will argue till they're red in the face about which General Lee jump was first. And they'll say this one was first based on storyline. Then technically this is technically the first jump on storyline because of Happy Birthday General Lee. They're like, this is the first jump. You just witnessed the first jump of the General Lee. But then, you know, go back and forth with the Georgia episodes and say they will just go back and forth over that. And I'm thinking, y'all have a good time over there. I'm just
so like by canon, like they go by like the actual world of the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes.
In timeline.
Yes.
Like biblical.
Pretty much. Yes.
All
because Waylon Jennings narrated and said, what you just witnessed was the very first jump of the General Lee. And then they're like, okay, that was it. And so I don't know. They get pretty, you know, wrapped around the whole storyline. And they're like, okay, that's the first jump.
Well, it wasn't.
So yeah, no, it clearly was not. They had already jumped the car many times by this point. But yeah, I just kind of walk away. I never comment on those kind of posts because I'm totally opposite ends with them.
This generally right here, that's Lee 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you're listening and you're not watching on the actual DVD set, which you can still purchase, but this is one of the originals when they first came out. I bought them all. Right. I bought them all individually, in fact. From
you had to wait
Buy.
like every 8 months or so.
You'll see a General Lee with no numbers on the doors. Bo and Luke are kind of wearing those crazy hats. And John Schneider, of the three of them, is wearing the least familiar outfit.
Right.
But that's Lee 3.
Mm-hmm.
With the saddle tan interior. And that was a really neat car.
It was a real RT as well.
What do you give this episode, Corn Dog? I gave it 10.
Oh, this one's definitely... Yeah, I've always liked this episode, even though it does get kind of cartoonish. You know, I think this is probably one of the earlier cartoony type episodes, but yeah, definitely a 10. Another thing too, on Bernie hit on it just for a second, but the Cooter's tow truck. This is the one left over from Georgia episodes. I think this is the last time we see this truck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. We don't see this one.
Yeah.
Cooter goes through tow trucks.
Yeah, he's rough on them.
Bern, what's your rating of this episode?
Well, pretty good, because kudos for, in this episode, using actors that understand comedy and timing. Kudos for Luke being such a great shot that he saved his last stick of dynamite. Wow. And for Roscoe's line back to the other sheriff, I didn't turn over. I laughed. I laughed.
That is the best part.
If I had a wreath of flowers handy, I'd give it to this show a Laurel and Hardy 9 Hazzard County costume clog dance party corn dogs.
Excellent. I think we like this one. I hope that you guys that have been watching on YouTube have enjoyed. We've done most of season 1 here, and we will now start the process of season 2. Season 1 is unique. It has the unique intro. It has the unique exit. You also get most of the season where the actors that are shot in the car are in a real car, usually being towed. But there's very little green screen or fakery going on. That will change starting in season 2 for the rest of the series. This is a special season. It's a ton of fun. And I can see why a lot of people love this one the most. So we'll be back probably next week, but for us in like 3 weeks. Anything else before we go, Bern?
Only that the liquid that was in here has gone someplace else.
You got a whiz?
He's ready to exit.
Wait, did you? Okay.
No.
Make sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all of your favorite players. Share this with your friend. Please, for the love of God, follow us on social media. And if you enjoy racing, follow Dallas Kibbe Racing. Our late model, I think, by the time this airs, debuted last week. A car with our actual logo on it. Might be the last one, but at least we got one.
I thought it looked great.
Sweet. I thought it looked great, too. All right. See you, fellas.
Later.
You